Hi guys, welcome to my channel Soil and Margaritas. I am located in central Indiana in zone 5 and my last frost date is or was April 25th, which was yesterday. So we are officially past the last frost date here in central Indiana, the average day where I am somewhat safe to plant my warm loving plants outside like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, things like that. So right now we are just in a waiting game, probably the first, maybe even the second week in May. That's when I'll be able to take all of my things here outside. I wanted to make this video really quick because it has been quite busy outside in the garden and also in here, watering, potting up, starting more seeds, troubleshooting, all of the things. And the last thing in my mind sometimes is making a video about it. But I wanted to make this quick video just to give you an update of how everything is doing, and this will be my last official seed starting video for the 2022 season. It has been great. It's amazing how quickly things grow. I was just checking my last update video from 2-3 weeks ago, and some of the things you're not even going to believe how huge they have gotten. Right now I am showing you everything, how it looks like most of the days. My lights are on, I have things reaching the lights, I have everything outgrowing their space, and I am loving it. But it does require a little bit of time from me, watering and making sure that things are not, killing each other and that things are happy. We have at least one more week, if not 2 weeks before I can actually take things outside. So I am impatient sometimes, but I know waiting until I don't have any low temperatures in the 40s or even 50s is the best. But this week I am going to be starting the process of hardening off, which, if you don't know what that is basically a fancy term meaning the process of taking all of my seedlings that have been growing inside outside. And that process, it takes a few weeks. I know some people, they just kind of risk everything and they take them out right away, and sometimes they lose some, sometimes some other plants survive. But I have been spending a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort trying to keep these things alive inside. So I'm going to suck it up and I am going to slowly take them outside. So I am going to be turning the lights off so that I can show you a few things. I'll try to go as quickly as possible so that you don't have to suffer through the whole video of me just talking. The top bottom of one of my shelves, I have that wooden cage around it. Used to have one more extra shelf for my tall plants, which right now are being used for my tomatoes. I am not going to show you all of my tomatoes. I'm just going to show you a couple of plants. Most of the tomatoes are like that, but if you notice, I have a couple of LED strip lights and one of my fan lights that I love because you can just clamp them anywhere. And if you're wondering what I use and all of the things, I am going to try to add as many links as possible in the description of this video. So just check those, but if you still have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Okay, so let me show you one of the tomatoes that I had on that top shelf. These are basically how most of my tomatoes look like, the tomatoes that I started kind of late in the season. And I believe I started these tomatoes on the 16th of March. And they're doing quite amazing. My job right now is just make sure that they have plenty of water, that they're not touching the light. I had a couple that I didn't realize they were touching the light where I had them, and the top of the leaves were a little bit burned, but they will be just fine. And also at this point, because some of them are really grown, I just gotta make sure that they don't have any suckers going on, because I don't want any other disturbance right now. I don't want the plants to start producing fruit. And if I see any blooms or if I see any signs of fruit, then I'll just remove those. And like I say, we just have 1-2 more weeks before these guys can be outside. Look how gorgeous. This one is a classic beefsteak. Here's another one. I believe this one is Purple Rain, 16th of March. And I think this is a dwarf variety and it's just doing amazing. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Here's another another one. This is a cherry variety, and I actually didn't realize that the seeds that I saved from my sun sugar, like I told you, cherry tomatoes for me are kind of new, but my favorite so far because their sweetness are sun sugar tomatoes. Apparently they're even more sweeter. They're sweeter than sun golds. And I didn't realize these were hybrid. Also, I guess sun golds are hybrid. So basically what it means is that the seeds that I saved from my sun sugars last year are going to be one of the parents because they're not true heirlooms. So it is what it is. I have like a bunch of these guys, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back to the nursery where I got my sun sugars last year. I'm going to buy a few plants for myself, but then I'll also plant a couple of these just to see what I get. I might get, you know, some red ones, or I mean, I don't know what I'll get. But they're doing amazing as well. And right here, this is one of the 3 trays that I have currently from my spicy peppers that I started for my parents. These are the Cholta bean peppers, you guys. These are the ones that I started in the little containers. I had about 35 plants, and I had those in the red containers. I had those in this size, the 2.5 inch, and then from this side I moved them into this side. I pinched the peppers as well. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, by the way, I post a lot of things there as I do them, and you might find out things if you're following me there sooner. But I show you in one of the reels on Instagram how I pinch these peppers, these pepper plants. And I basically came here, I took the top off, and you could also try to propagate those, try to root them, but I didn't. And look how bushy the plants are. They're just going crazy. Like, look at this guy. They're doing just amazing, and I am loving them. Hopefully the next time that I visit my parents here in the next couple of weeks, I am going to be able to bring these guys because they're taking, I have 3 trays of these guys, so they are taking definitely a lot of space on one of my shelves, and they're loving it here. But before we continue, if you would like to support the channel, you can do it in 3 ways. 1, you can subscribe. 2, you can like and comment on this video. And 3, when you are done watching this video, feel free to check my other videos on how I am starting plants from seed. These are some of my cannas, and my cannas are loving life here. These are the first cannas that I started. I have some white and yellow, and I believe some peach color here as well. I did start a couple of more cannas, the leftover cannas that I had. And I started some in these containers, and I have a few of them that are germinating. So that's okay because I did not have very good germination with the ones that I purchased, but my cannas are loving life. And I started the cannas, on the 17th of March. And I started them in the red containers, and I moved them here after that. They're loving it. Look at the leaves. They're gorgeous. Right here, I have a combination of a few things. I have my gorgeous, gorgeous lemongrass. It's doing amazing. I have a couple other cannas here that were very, very small. They were kind of late. They were kind of late to germinate, so they weren't big enough for me to move into the solo cup. So I have a couple that are here. I also have my marigolds. These are my white marigolds, and they are loving it here. These are, I am able to pinch this as well, which I am about to do here. Basically, you can go as low as you want, not to take that much, of course. But right there, this is how much I took of my marigolds, and that will push the plant to grow more side branches, and more side branches means more blooms. Let me show you how to do another one really quick. I did do a few, but I left some just so that I can show you. Here's another one that I haven't done. Right here, I'm just going to take a big chunk of that one. Right there. And there are a few things that you can do this, and you can do this with cosmos, with zinnias, with peppers, with amaranth, and with dahlias as well. So that's all I have here. I have my gorgeous, gorgeous lemongrass, my marigolds. Oh my gosh, smells amazing. The cuttings that I used to, they smell amazing. And some of these things do need, they need to be watered. Look at this guy. This is one of my amaranths that I have growing, you guys. Look how gorgeous that is. And I did pinch this guy already. You can tell here that I came and cut those. I did start this amaranth, all of my amaranths actually, on the 23rd of March. And this one right here is Coral Fountain. And it's doing just amazing. Here is another one. This is a Coral Fountain as well. And I pinched the top already. Let me show you another variety. This one right here is Red Spike. These are the ones that I started last year, and these are the ones that basically got me going. I'm gonna cut the middle there. These are the ones that got me going with Amaranth because, well, I just kind of fell in love with them. Just gonna take a big chunk out of this one right here. And like I said, all of these Amaranth that I started were on, they all were started from seed on the 23rd. And I'll probably spend some time here pinching this here in a minute. Here is another one. This one is Love Lies Bleeding. This one is smaller. You can tell these were started on the same date. But some of them are just smaller than others, and that's fine. Some plants just do that, especially if they're a different variety. And these right here are my Cosmos. And the Cosmos were started on the 23rd of March as well. And I did pinch those already. And as you can tell here in the middle, I already have some side shoots going. Look at that, they're gorgeous, and they need a little bit of water. They're a little bit dry, and I can feel it because the trays are a little bit light. And let me show you some of my dahlias that I started. I didn't start from seed. I basically, I put the tubers in here. I don't think that I show you how to do that. Like I said, I have been busy here doing things, and sometimes I don't have enough time just to set up my cameras and everything. But I basically have some name tags here from, you know, if I know what they are, if I know what the tubers are, I have a name tag for them. I basically have regular potting mix in here, whatever you can get a hold of. I have a big container. These are their 5-inch containers from Bootstrap, and I put the tuber there. I cover it with potting mix. I have been giving it water here and there, and the plants are just loving it here. Look at this guy. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to pinch this guy right here. I don't know. There we go. That's it. You just take off the top, and it's basically going to push the plant. I have another growth here. And on this right here, we can do the same thing. Since I already have one main shoot coming here, and I have another little guy that is still attached to the tuber, what I can do is that I can just cut that from the tuber just with a little piece of the tuber, and I can start basically a new plant. I am not going to do that just because I have plenty right now. But look at this guy. And I don't know that I have the information on them on when or how long they have been here, but if I have to guess, I will say 2 weeks. Normally you want to start them 4 to 6 weeks before you are ready to put them outside. You want to just give them a little bit of a head start. Look at how gorgeous that is. So I have a lot to do here. I have 2 trays of these. I have a lot to do here. I need to pinch. I need to put up a couple of things. And it's just a matter of maintenance right now and making sure that they have water. Here is another one. This is the one that I show you how to do in one of the, in a couple of videos. We basically took a couple of tubers, a couple of Dahlia tubers, and we put them in a little bit of potting mix, and we gave them a little bit of water, trying to sprout. And this guy had a gorgeous sprout here, in between the 2 tubers here. It's just 1 tuber. I have 2 tubers here. They're the same Dahlia variety, but this is here when when the sprout was big enough, we remove it from here and we put it here. You probably remember when we did that, and we put it on the side. A lot of people were asking me, why did you put the new sprout on the side of the container? And the main reason, which is kind of silly, is so that I could see the roots develop through the clear container. Because if I have the tuber or the sprout, if I had the sprout in the middle, then it will take a while for me to see the roots. So this way I can easily see all of the new growth, the roots happening here. And this guy, my gosh, this guy like almost triple in size. I'm going to cut the top of that as well. Looks gorgeous. These guys right here are hyacinth beans, and I started these guys on the 7th of April. And I kind of waited to start these guys because from my experience last year, they are quick growers. They need a little bit of water. But I have 3 plants there, which is way more than I need. So I'm just going to divide these. I definitely have to do this today. I gotta divide these guys and put them in their own little containers. They're gorgeous. I have a few other things here as well. These are some zinnias that I started. I don't think that I show you how to do this, but it's basically potting mix here. And I think that I put two seeds per container. And they're growing lovely here. These are Queen Lime Blush and Cinderella Peach. I definitely had great germination, and I am able to pinch zinnias as well, but I'm just gonna wait until they're a little bit taller because I don't wanna just leave them down to the first set of true leaves. I want them to be a little bit taller. So I'm just going to leave this here. I am not even going to bother potting this up. I just want to show you that they're doing amazing. My one and only Bells of Ireland that I started on the 7th of March. Oh, by the way, the zinnias, I started these guys on the 7th of April. So they have been here a little bit over 2 weeks. My Bells of Ireland, I started on the 7th of March, and they're amazing. First of all, they're way bigger than the ones that I tried to grow last year. So far so good. I try a bunch of seeds, but only one came up, which is, you know, one is better than nothing. But also in my winter sowing containers outside, I have 1 plant as well. So I have 2 plants total. So I'm excited about that because I have never had Bells of Ireland before. And right here, I have a combination, these are the same plants, but I have a combination of lace flower. These right here are the lacy pink lace flower that I tried last year in my garden from Floret, and they were gorgeous. So I went and go ahead and got me, these are the seeds that I had from 2 years ago, and they developed well. And over here, I have some chocolate lace flower. And both of these were started on the 7th of March. They were started in the smaller containers, and they were transplanted here. Or they were potted up here, and they're just doing gorgeous. These almost look like cilantro. They're doing amazing. And I have basil here that I started in the 2-inch soil blocks. And honestly, I think that I left them on those soil blocks for a little bit too long because they were struggling, and it wasn't until I moved them into these clear cup containers they started kind of growing a little bit bigger, and they're picking up. But if you leave your things for the longest time in one size container, they're just not going to keep on growing to their potential. I will show you what that means here in a minute with Coleus. I have the perfect example for that. But this is my basil, and I don't have the date when I started. I'll try to look it up for you and put it on the screen. But it's, oh my gosh, smells amazing. Just doing this to basil is just, it smells like basil. These right here are my gorgeous, gorgeous nasturtiums. And I think that in one of the videos I show you how I started this from seed. I started this on the 4th of April. They're doing amazing. Some of them are doing better than others as far as size, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they're gonna grow huge once they go outside. But one of my favorites, I think that it's just going to be my favorite this year because of the foliage, is out of Africa. Look at that foliage, you guys. Look at the variegation on that. I love that. I absolutely love those leaves. Look at that. And these seeds are new for me, and I love them. I was mentioning in one of my stories on Instagram that I will not mind if these guys do not give me any balloons, because look at that foliage. Look at that foliage. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. And they will be here in this size, in this 2.5-inch size, until I am ready to plant them outside. Look at that. Wow. Just wow. Isn't that just so amazing? This right here, what you're looking at, is chocolate mint Coleus. Look at that. The leaves are sort of velvety feeling, and they have this like green outline on the outside. Just beautiful. I am supposed to pinch Coleus so that the plant bushes out, but honestly, I mean, look at all that bushing out that it's doing already. And I don't want to touch them. They're gorgeous. My gosh, just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. So Coleus is one of those plants that takes a little bit of time to grow inside. These seeds were started on the 3rd of February. So they have been here almost 3 months. I started them in smaller size, obviously, and they move into these huge containers, and my gosh, they're doing amazing. Let me show you another variety of Coleus. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Look at that. So I have this right here. Is, gosh, I say it's one of my favorites. They're all my favorites. This right here is Mighty Mosaic Coleus. They were all started on the 3rd of February. Look at this. This is like a variegated color one. Just amazing. Just amazing. And right now, they're going to be here until they are ready to be transplanted outside. This right here, this I might actually pin just because they're a little bit taller than the others. But look at the texture on the leaves. Hopefully you can see it from the video. These are Black Dragon. And I guess the name is because of how the leaves look like they could be the skin of a dragon. Gosh, they're gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And I actually already did this. Oh, some fungus gnats. I actually already did this. I came here and I pinched the middle of that, or the top. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I think I did all of them. I don't think I left any. But let me show you what I mean about not leaving your plants in one size container for the longest time. You may not be able to get this quite fully from the video, but these guys right here, they were both started at the same time, from seed, same variety, same everything. They have actually only been watered. All of my seeds have only been fertilized once. And these guys were moved here. Oh no, sunshine is coming. These guys were moved here right away, right after they were ready. And these guys, I didn't have enough potting mix and I ran out of some containers. So they waited like 1.5, almost 2 weeks to be moved into their own size containers. But you can tell the difference. Hopefully you can tell the difference from the growth of this plant to the growth of this plant. This one basically got more space for the roots to develop, and hence the bigger plant, and this one didn't because it stayed in the soil blocks. I think I had this in the soil blocks, in the 2-inch soil blocks for the longest time. So if you leave your plants waiting in one container or one size soil block, they're not going to grow to their potential. Look how gorgeous that is. You see that? Just beautiful, beautiful. And while I have you here, these geraniums, my gosh, it has been so fun growing them from seed. This is my first year growing those from seed. They were started at the same time than my Coleus, I believe, on the 3rd of February. And they're doing amazing. These two are actually already blooming. Look at those blooms. I wasn't sure if I wanted to pinch those blooms. They actually smell really good. I wasn't sure if I wanted to pinch those blooms or what to do, because, you know, like, you don't really want your plants to be flowering or fruiting in here. So I contacted somebody who's very knowledgeable about that as far as growing geraniums, and he said, just don't worry about it. You're so close to taking them outside, just let them be. So look at that. They're doing just so well in here. I have huge plants, and I am so happy about that. Look at that. Aren't those gorgeous? Look at those. So just a couple more weeks and you'll almost be up there. So I have dill. I have 4 of these plants. I show you actually in the last video how we potted this up. And look at that. Look at the size. Like I said, I was just watching that video where I gave you that update, and I just can't believe how much they have grown in this short 2 weeks. Look at that. And you guys, these guys smell. I cut a little bit of the blooms or the leaves. Oh my gosh, just smells delicious. And I cannot wait. I have 4 plants this year. Last year I only grew 1. I don't know why, but I only had 1 plant. And oh, they're just so amazing. This little guy right here, this guy is Scabiosa, and it's the only Scabiosa that I had that I could get to germinate from the seeds that I started on the 23rd of March. This guy is Black Knight, and they grew and it got potted up into this container, and it's doing okay. It's doing okay. But one of you guys, when I show you, you know, my 1 seed germinated from a bunch of the ones that I started, you said go ahead and put some of the seeds in the fridge for a couple of weeks, and then that should help them. I did that, and I had 2 varieties. I have 2 varieties here, and right now I just have 1 of the Black Knights germinating. So I have 5 plants, and I am going to be hopefully here in the next week. I don't know, I might just wait actually until I'm ready to pot them up and just put this straight to the ground. I don't know yet. It's just going to depend how quick or how tall they grow. But I have a few more. And thank you if you were the one giving me that tip on the comments. Thank you, because that's probably what I'm going to do for Scabiosa next year. And actually, I have some of these seeds in winter sowing outside, and I think I only have 1 of the blooms there. So not bad. Ooh. This one is huge. I know some of you are waiting for this update because you are doing this for the first time. So these right here are my elephant ears. I started those corms in those containers, and they're doing just so amazing, you guys. They're huge. They're at least 2 feet tall. I have a bunch of leaves happening, but also I have a bunch of fungus gnats that just wanna be living in those containers. These are huge containers as well. Let me see if I can show you. This guy right here, this only has 1 leaf. Look at that. But it's doing amazing. So amazing. Both of these were started on the 22nd of February. This is the guy that has the most. Hopefully I can show you. Look at all that. Just wow. So 4 leaves so far on this one. And I know once I take it outside, it's just going to do even better. My Luffas are just wow. They are growing out of their containers. They're taking over the trellis that I quickly made. These are just bended bamboo sticks that I found at Menards, and the plants are loving it here. These Luffas were started on the 18th of February. And my goodness, they're just doing amazing. And because they're already kind of growing tall, if I see any sign of fruit or flower developing, I just cut those off, and the plant just kind of pushes more growth, and I don't have to worry about them putting flowers. And I think that's it, you guys. I tried to show you everything. I'm sure that I missed a couple of things. But again, if you have any questions as far as links or what I'm using, etc., I'll try to leave as many links in the video description as possible. And if you're wondering how do you start these or how do you start that, I do have a playlist how I started everything from seed for this year for the 2022 season. I'm going to add that link to that playlist as well. Thank you so much for being here, you guys, and until the next time. If you would like to support the channel, you can do it in 3 ways. 1, you can subscribe. 2, you can comment and like this video. And 3, you can watch one of these 2 videos here on the screen, and I hope that you guys enjoy them.